in Southeast Georgia and the Lowcountry. This is WJCL 22 Morning News. See us now.
Right now on WJCL 22 Morning News, crashes, canceled flights, and rising energy costs. The growing list of impacts this morning from a major winter storm.
Tackling gun violence, I'm Christopher Salas in Washington with the preview of the president's strategy to combat crime.
The system is broken in the National Football League in regards to hiring minorities and black coaches.
A former NFL head coach opening up about his bombshell allegations against the NFL. What else he said was happening behind the scenes. Right now, crews are struggling to contain this fertilizer plant fire in North Carolina, while the governor is so upset with people who live nearby. Hey, it's just after 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning, and we are live in the Lowcountry this morning. You're looking live at downtown Bridgeland. We want to thank you so much for starting your day with us right here on WJCL 22. Good morning, everyone. I'm Emma Hamilton here with our meteorologist, Jonathan Myers. Jonathan, right off the top of the show, we're talking about some of that winter weather that our folks in the north are going to see, but nice weather here.
Yeah, spring
Not to rub it in for folks.
I know. You know, the good part of the country, especially Midwest and the Northeast, sleet, snow, freezing rain, all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah, that's why I left.
Yeah, absolutely. But for today, good weather for outdoor activities here. We'll be well up into the 70s later this afternoon. And as we are starting the day off, not too bad out there. We're seeing temperatures this morning mid-upper 50s for most of us. Could see a spotty coastal shower from now maybe up to about sunrise, but the chances of rain today only about 20% up to about 6 o'clock. So the bulk of the daytime today will be rain free. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. And look at that. This afternoon at lunchtime, 72, mid-upper 70s, where most of us will top things off later this afternoon. So it'll feel very nice this afternoon. Now, there's a couple spotty showers kind of rolling in off the Atlantic around parts of Chatham County, even up into the Lowcountry there. Around Beaufort, a sprinkle or two will be possible, but most of the rain now is out of here as we are starting the day off. Even had a little light rain there around the Yemassee, down to Ridgeland and parts of Hampton County. We can see just a stray shower or two. Now, here's our forecast for today. We'll see warm temperatures today and also for tomorrow as well, but up into the 70s again on Friday. And then as a cold front approaches, we will see a good chance for rain late afternoon on Friday. And that'll bring us some much cooler weather with a cold front this weekend. I'll detail that cool down for you coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Jonathan, thanks so much. Heading outside, live look at traffic. We're at I-16 at US 301, where my goodness, all around this morning, it is looking pretty quiet in Southeast Georgia and the Lowcountry.
Dozens of semi-trucks jackknifed, wrecked, slid off. They are just littering the highways, and that was just round one.
A massive winter storm is set to impact more than 100 million Americans today, and it's already wreaking havoc for travelers. Take a look at this video of a crash in Oklahoma City where crews worked to move this overturned van from a very busy highway. As ABC's Andrea Fujii reports, millions are now bracing for power outages.
This morning, treacherous travel for nearly half the nation. States from Texas to Maine right now in the path of a wicked winter storm. More than 2,200 flights already canceled today, and overnight, nearly 30,000 power outages reported across Texas and Oklahoma as temperatures plunged into the teens. In Texas, store shelves stripped bare, customers rushing to buy essentials.
Because of last year, people are pretty much afraid, so they want to stock up on food in case the power goes out.
Tractor trailers jackknifing on this highway in Missouri and careening off of overpasses in Indiana. This car flipping off the road in Lubbock, Texas. While officials investigate if icy conditions are to blame for this train derailment in Wayne, Oklahoma.
It felt like an earthquake, and so I come outside and I saw the cars tumbling off the right-hand side of the track.
Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kentucky already declaring emergencies as the deep freeze sets in.
It's already started in Oklahoma and Texas. It will make its way into Arkansas, yes, into western Tennessee and Kentucky, southern Indiana too, and then Ohio. Since then it gets into the Northeast, and that's where it could become a real wreck for Thursday night into Friday morning. The tri-state going to be dealing with that icy side of the storm.
And now the extreme conditions could cause home heating prices to rise. Natural gas prices rose 10% Wednesday due to the expected surge in demand.
Costa drives it in. McKinnon got to it. There's 0 to go.
But in Minnesota, the U.S. men's national soccer team used the cold to their advantage as they faced off against Honduras in St. Paul. Game time temperature, 1 degree with a wind chill of -13. Extra harsh for Team Honduras, which left home when it was a balmy 87 degrees.
Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
All new this morning, CNN Worldwide President Jeff Zucker has resigned after admitting to a consensual relationship with a colleague. It all stems from CNN's investigation into former primetime anchor Chris Cuomo. Zucker said yesterday, as a part of the investigation, he was asked about a consensual relationship with his closest colleague and key lieutenant for more than 2 decades. He said, quote, "I acknowledge the relationship evolved in recent years. I was required to disclose it when it began, but I didn't. I was wrong, and as a result, I am resigning today." Happening today, President Joe Biden is set to address the gun violence surge all across America. We're told the country's murder rate is at the highest it's been in decades. Our Christopher Salas is in Washington with more on the president's visit to New York City today.
And the president will discuss efforts to get guns and repeat shooters off the streets, as well as a new strategy to help localities fight crime.
The president and attorney general traveling to New York City today, laying out a proposal to send more money to localities to hire more officers and implement violence intervention programs.
I made it clear we should use these funds to combat violent crime.
Homicide rates increased by 44% in 2020 in 22 U.S. cities, according to University of Missouri criminologist Rick Rosenfeld.
When you see every city or nearly every city go up at the same time, you're pretty sure you're looking at national level phenomena.
He says those factors include the pandemic, social justice unrest, and an increase in illegal gun ownership. But in 2021, several of the same cities he studied saw no increase or even declines.
When you're seeing some cities up and other cities flat or down, that causes you to look more at local level factors.
Americans purchased a record number of firearms in 2020, and law enforcement recovered historically high numbers of firearms last year, including those without serial numbers, also known as ghost guns. Those are impossible to trace. In Washington, I'm Christopher Salas.
Right now, fire crews are struggling to put out this massive fire still burning at a fertilizer plant in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Fire erupted Monday night around 7 o'clock, so it has been going for more than 48 hours now. The biggest concern is an explosion. We told you yesterday more than 6,500 people who live nearby have asked to evacuate. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper had some stern words for those who refuse to do so.
They put other people at risk when they refuse to evacuate. In fact, I talked to some emergency personnel who had already gone to make some service calls to people who were sick or ill. They had to risk themselves going into that 1 mile radius to bring them out.
The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
This is bigger than me. This is bigger than football. You know, it was my turn to step up and be an agent for change, and I'm proud to do that.
Several new developments this morning in the racial discrimination lawsuit filed against the NFL by a former head coach. As ABC's Mona Kazar Abdi reports, Brian Flores is now saying his boss offered to pay him to lose, and now another team is in the spotlight.
New fallout this morning stemming from the racial discrimination lawsuit rocking the NFL filed by former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores.
And we need change.
Flores says Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered to pay him $100,000 for every loss in 2019 to secure a higher draft pick. Now, legal experts say Ross could face prosecution. A longtime criminal defense attorney telling the Miami Herald, quote, "It certainly warrants criminal investigation." And a zealous prosecutor could try to make a bribery case.
If that is true, and only if that is true, he's got to go. You talking about compromising the integrity of competition?
Overnight, Ross responding to the claim, telling ESPN, quote, "I take great personal exception to these malicious attacks, and the truth must be known. His allegations are false, malicious, and defamatory. We understand there are media reports stating that the NFL intends to investigate his claims, and we will cooperate fully." Now the Cleveland Browns face a similar accusation. Former head coach Hugh Jackson says the Browns offered him bonuses for losses in 2016 and 2017.
When I understood what was going on, I immediately called the National Football League and I talked to Roger Goodell about what I thought was going on. So this is not new.
The Browns deny the allegation. The NFL late Wednesday said it will investigate Flores' claim about the Dolphins owner wanting to tank games. But the league says other claims made by Flores in his lawsuit are without merit. Flores accuses the NFL of being rife with racism, especially when it comes to hiring black head coaches and executives. After the Dolphins fired him, Flores says he was passed over for a head coaching job with the Giants, revealing text messages from Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, who indicated the job was given to a white coach days before Flores even interviewed with the Giants. Flores says he was only granted interviews to satisfy a league rule requiring teams to interview one minority candidate.
The Giants released a statement about Flores saying they're confident with the process that resulted in the team hiring a different coach. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.